segment is brought to you by Jig Masters. Step up your game with high-quality performance jigs, spinner baits, buzz baits, and more from jigmasters.com. And always, when in doubt, get the jig out.
Welcome to the Reel Down on Paddle and Fin with your hosts, Dan Perry and Jimmy Skinner, where we talk about everything tournament kayak fishing. Here we go. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Reel Down on Paddle and Fin, brought to you by the fine folks at the Dugout Bait and Tackle in Marietta, Georgia, where they can satisfy all your tackle needs, or Hobie. They've got it all. That's one of those shops. But how you doing, Jimmy?
I'm pretty good, man. What about you?
Doing good, man. I know we're only an hour away. You're an hour north of me. I'm like Birmingham. You got snow and I didn't. I'm very disappointed about that.
We got a decent amount for, where we are, and it only went below freezing for, let's say, 4 hours, but it snowed for 15 hours, I think. It was insane. It was great. We had all the snow. It was everywhere in the yard. There's kids playing everywhere, but none of the roads were frozen. Wasn't no crazy wrecks because, folks down here can't drive when it snows. So
yeah. Because down here in the South, it's not. We love the snow whenever we do get it, but we don't have any kind of equipment, or they don't keep salt for it or anything like. We just don't have it enough to keep that kind of stuff. So yeah, whenever snow happens, things turn bad in Alabama.
Yeah, we got lucky that it wasn't bad. It was. I mean, yeah, I did see a couple of wrecks, but it's mostly people looking out the window. Ooh, look at that, and then driving off the road. Yeah. But, pretty good, man. The week started out good for you. Doing all right?
Yeah, man. Living the dream. About getting ready, going to sell the house. Getting ready.
I hear you.
Starting with the houses. Getting excited.
Actually,
going to the lake.
You're swapping on the house thing, and I just hit my wife with, I think I want a 2021 F350, and I might not have somewhere to live after tomorrow, so. Because I hit her with I'm coming home with a new truck, and the look she gave me wasn't all that pleasant. So may have to borrow your basement.
You can have it, man. Have a big basement. You can stay here as long as you want to until we leave.
Sounds good, man. Well, while we got everybody, before we bring in our guests, just letting everybody know that the Dugout's Reel Down deal is still going on. So we talked about it last week. With the purchase of any regular price St. Croix Legend Extreme rod, you'll get a free Shimano SLX XT reel, depending on what gear ratios they've got quantity of. You can get whatever you want, left or right-handed. Just make sure that if you go to the store, mention the Reel Down on Paddle and Fin, Dan and Jimmy, and they'll give you the deal. If you can't make it down there, just give them a call and mention us again, and they'll hook you up with if whatever they've got, if they've got it in stock. And they've got tons of other great prices, and we showed pictures last week. They've got tons of merchandise, tons of stock on everything. So, spring's coming fast, so get down there and get your new gear for the year.
Especially something we didn't say before, they're a Hobie dealer, but also they have all the Hobie parts, the Yak Attack parts, Hobie parts.
Mm-hmm.
They can send you all that stuff too. Just give them a call. They'll ship to you for cheap. They're good guys. They have all the good stuff and everything you can want.
Oh, just another little plug. Me and you are both affiliated with Yak Gadget. John got his stuff down there. He's had some new products come out that I'm sure he'll get on their shelves soon enough. So all the good stuff, man. And
not that, a Yak Gadget promo here, but they came out with a new paddle. I thought that was cool. It's kind of like Angler Ace, kind of like, because Angler Ace $199 and this is going to be $150, so $50 less than that. Just saying they're, that carbon fiber shaft with the plastic end. So, yeah. And congratulations to you. You're on the Bending Branches team now, right?
Yeah, that just popped in my head, man. My head's been all over work this week. I didn't even think about it, but we had them on the final cast last week, and they reached out and made me a regional ambassador for Bending Branches, and that's huge, man. That was a team I wanted to be a part of from the get-go. they're, it's actually a small company, contrary to popular belief. Check out that episode of the Final Cast. It made it even more fun. I'm a big hockey fan. Found out that when they first started, Bending Branches obviously they were doing, wooden canoe paddles, but they were one of the biggest hockey stick manufacturers in the Midwest. So now my goal now is to find a Bending Branches wooden hockey stick to hang in the man cave. So
that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Congrats.
I appreciate it.
I know Brad is too, but I mean, it's hard to beat Bending Branches. I mean, if you need a paddle, except for Gadget, and that's new. But besides that, they are the standard. They're the best around. So everybody else trying to keep up with them. But without further ado, delay. Tonight we continue our grassroots series talking about tournament directors, talking to tournament directors from around the country. I'm gonna get that right. Last week it was the South, and this week we have the Midwest. So let's bring them on now. We have Brian Sprague.
Hi guys.
Mike Anderson and Susie Roloff, the queen of paddling.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, thank y'all for being on.
What's up?
So I'll start with Mike. Mike is
canoe to you too.
It's too hard, boss lady.
All right. So Mike Anderson, he's the director of Michigan Kayak Trail and co-founder, director of the Topwater Series. So Mike, we'll start with you. Give us a little, tell everybody about yourself and a little bit about your trail.
Yeah, absolutely. The Michigan Kayak Trail and the Topwater Series, based here in the state of Michigan, and new to us this year due to expansion of our trail series. We are venturing down into northern Indiana this year for the Indiana Kayak Trail we've created, just to kind of fill that geographical void where there wasn't a whole lot of tournament action going on. So trying to save anglers as much travel time and money as possible. But the Michigan Kayak Trail has been around for a better part of a decade now. And recently, as of this year, we are expanding that into a West and an East division, as well as the Indiana Kayak Trail. And with our Topwater Series, I don't even want to know how much time you guys want to allow me to get into that. But roughly, we have a little over 100 events on the schedule for 2021. So a massive amount of kayak fishing taking place here in the state of Michigan.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. I'm having trouble organizing 4 events for one season. I have no excuse now. Like, that's insane.
It's crazy. We kick off literally the first week of April, and we fish until November. Through our league series, that's kind of our bread and butter, and that's where honestly 80 of the 100 or so events take place in our league series. We have 8 different divisions set up throughout the state of Michigan, kind of coating the entire state, west and east side, where each division will fish 10 individual bodies of water in their division, respectively. And we'll have our anglers of the year from each individual division move on and compete in our World Series of Fishing event that we host earlier in the spring. So a lot of fishing. The series itself was built in mind to attract new anglers to the sport. People that are just starting out, maybe you just got a kayak, you haven't really, fished any events or any tournaments, but you want to get into that. The league series was built for those people in mind. It's low entry fee, low pressure. We meet at usually a smaller body of water. It's a shotgun start, so everybody leaves at the same launch at the same time, and you just head off to your individual spots. It's a 3-hour fishing time, so we fish from 6 to 9 p.m. Everybody meets back at the same ramp for check-in. We announce the winners and payouts right on the spot. So it's a great way for people that are a little bit nervous, maybe hesitant. Maybe you have a spouse that would like to get into it, but they're a little bit hesitant. You can bring them along. There's no membership fees. We're non-exclusive club, so you don't have to worry about joining up or doing anything like that. You just simply register for the event you want to fish, come on out, compete. Usually our league series events cost like $30 registration, but we have great attendance. Normally we were averaging around 25 to 30, 40 guys showing up on a Tuesday night to fish. So great turnouts for those events, and maybe you go home with a couple $100 in your pocket. So And essentially, instead of going bowling on a Tuesday night, come kayak fishing on a Tuesday night.
There you go.
I like
Tuesday nighter. I like it.
Yeah, for sure. With COVID running rampant across the country, it threw a wrench into pretty much everybody's plans. But for us, if you can find a bright spot in the pandemic, for us, it was that we saw a tremendous amount of new faces this year, new people coming out because they didn't have anything else to do. We were on lockdown up here in Michigan, couldn't leave, couldn't go outside or do anything, or couldn't go anywhere. But going outside was the one thing that we could do. So we saw a lot of new people coming out to the kayak tournaments this year. And I was pleasantly surprised in the face of a pandemic how many new people were coming out, trying out kayak tournaments.
Cool. Well, very cool. It sounds like you have your hands busy, Matt. Good God. But
it's
next
not
up,
all me. Not all me.
Next up, we have Brian Spray, tournament director for GRBY. That's Grassroots Bass Yakking and host of GRBY Talk, as heard on KBF. So welcome to the show. Tell us about yourself, Brian, and your trip.
Hey, thank you, guys. I'm so excited to be a part of this. You told me not to be too excited, so I'm working on that. Yeah.
He went from like 100 to like 40. So
I did. Thank you. I dialed it down quite a bit. And in the interest of time, I know Susie's going to want to have a word in edgewise here in a few minutes. I'll try to keep it short, but I'm excited about GRBY because growth is going to be the theme here tonight. I think in 2019, GRBY had four different lakes that we did tournament series at in Indiana. In 2020, we had 8 different lakes and 1 in Illinois. In 2021, right now, we're scheduled for 12 different lake series and 4 in Illinois. And we're looking at expanding into other states as well. So we are very unique in what we do. So GRBY does stand for Grassroots Bass Yakking. We're really set up to try and be there for the average grassroots fisherman that works a 40, 50, 60-hour a week job, but yet wants to be able to get out and fish. So all of our tournaments are at different lakes throughout the state. We host at each of those locations, we do 5 to 6 different tournaments throughout the year, so once a month. And then we end up with an AOY at all 12 of the Indiana sites, all 4 of the Illinois sites. We will have an AOY, and then we'll come together at the end of the season for a GRBY championship, which is a lot of fun. Last year we had 67 people qualify for a championship, and I think 47 of those showed up, and it was really a fun event just at our championship. But what's unique about our format is what we do is we offer our tournaments on once a month on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, but you're only fishing one day, but you get to choose which day you want to come out and fish.
That's awesome.
It's really a neat way to do it. That way, if you have to work on the day that most tournaments are, you're still able to most likely have one of those days free to go and fish the tournament. So you compete against the other guys in that tournament just like you were there on the same day, but you're probably not going to be there on the same day. You're going to be there on Thursday. Somebody else is going to fish on Friday, on Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It's really a neat format, and I've enjoyed seeing the growth that we've had.
Well, I have to go ahead and ask a question now.
Yeah.
How do you know what day they're going to fish? Do they have to tell you beforehand?
They sign. So we use TourneyX, and they have to sign up on TourneyX, and they have to pick a particular day. And I believe we have a rule, if I remember correctly, we have a rule that once you pick your day, you're kind of locked into that, unless you have an extenuating circumstance and you get a hold of a TD before the tournament starts. Once the tournament starts, there's no changing, and you're stuck to the day that you pick. So yes, ahead of time we know kind of who's fishing what, but you have up until 6 a.m. the morning of the first day of the tournament to sign up. So you don't know until Thursday morning at 6 a.m.
Wow. There you go. Something cool already. That's awesome, man. I've definitely never heard of a trail doing that. Very cool.
This was the brainchild Jim Strunk, by the way. I don't know if you guys know Jim, but he's the one that is we call him our godfather of GRBY. He asked me to do this tonight, but he's the one behind GRBY, and I give him all the credit.
ID holders, trails, that man is just a man of many talents.
He is. Oh, and I forgot to mention we're doing something new this year too. We're doing a GRBY trail. So I believe we have 6 spots on the trail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 of those locations that we already have series at, we're doing a trail at one of those each month. And then we'll have a trail champion as well.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah.
All right, and last but certainly not least, the queen of paddle and fin, Susie Roloff. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you guys?
Good. Tell us. So you're representing. You used to be with KBL, but this year we're starting up the paddle and fin trail, which is kind of a little bit more of a regional, not super grassroots, because it's a little bit more money and over different states. So tell us all about it.
All right. So, yeah, the Paddle and Fin Trail Series. So, we are going to get things started in April on Dale Hollow. In the 9th and 10th, we're going to have our open. So, anybody is welcome to sign up and register. And the open is $100 per person. That does include big bass. And a 2-day tourney, 5 fish max each day. And then on the 11th, we're going to have the Clash of the Clubs. So we're hoping to get at least 50 clubs nationwide and top 3 anglers from each club. It'll be $225 per team or $75 per angler. And everybody's going to duke it out to be crowned top club. Yep, there you go. To be top club of the nation. So that's how we're going to kick things off, chasing that spawn at Dale Hollow. So I'm really looking forward to that because that lake holds the world record for smallie over there. So, yeah, that should be awesome. And then our trail series will actually get started then in April, the 24th. We're going to be on the Tippecanoe River in Indiana. And then in May, we're teaming up with Mr. Mike with IKT. We're going to do the Cold Water Chain series. So looking forward to kind of collaborating with IKT and Mike with that. And then in June, we actually had to do some rescheduling. We knew that there'd be a conflict somehow along the way, but Bash just came out and announced that they are having their classic in June, which is the weekend we wanted to have our Madison event, but we know that a lot of anglers that would participate in this would be wanting to go down to that because they either qualified for it or wanted to participate. So we had to move that back or forward a weekend. So June 19th, we're going to be up in Madison, Wisconsin on the Madison Chain of Lakes. And we're also going to be partnering with Great Lakes Kayak Fishing Series for that one as well. And then July 31st, we're going to be on the Fox River in Illinois. And we've got a pretty long expanse of the Fox River for this one. So we're pretty excited to see how this one turns out. We think we got a lot of water for people to choose from. And yeah, should be an awesome fishery. And then August 28th, we're going to be on Lake Erie in the Maumee. I can always never say this one right. Maumee River. My M's get slurred sometimes. And then we'll kick off the end of the season in September. On the 10th, we'll have the Invitational. So for those who weren't quite able to make it either in AOI points, will get a second chance to squeeze their way into the championship, which is going to be September 11th and 12th. Yep, you got those up there as well. So AOI points for each trail event. So it's pretty standard in a sense. So 500 points is going to be for first place, and then 498 for second, and so on and so on. So it'll decrease by 2. Hopefully this will be a pretty good variant for everybody. And then for the trail series as well, it's $80 per event. That does include big bass. There's no membership fee at all for those as well. And then let's see here. Championships 2 days, the 11th and 12th of September. And you know what? I feel like I forgot something. Oh, yeah, the championship and invitationals and lacrosse. That's what I had forgotten. So gonna finish it off up on the Great Mississippi. So yeah, we got a lot of awesome things going on this year. Go big or go home, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Start big.
Yeah.
So, count one of the things that whenever I think Midwest, last week we had Southern guys on, and Midwest, y'all have a lot of issues with permits, right? Like you have to get permits for these lakes. And
it depends per state. So when it comes to Illinois, luckily the Fox River wasn't really any issue. I got the approval, I want to say like a couple weeks, because Illinois opened their permits November 1st. And you submit through the Illinois DNR, and it's free. But it is an interesting process. But the way with that it works through Illinois is it's got to be a DNR managed lake in order to get the permit. So when it came to the Fox River, it wasn't technically a DNR like body of water. So I had to kind of do a lot of digging around and try to figure out, okay, what kind of permits do we need? Do we need any special things through the cities or whatnot? So luckily I just went ahead and got a permit from like all the way north. And then I think I went as far south as like Ottawa or something like that, just to be on the safe side to make sure I had everything. Now, Wisconsin, permits could be submitted on the 1st. And it's a $25 fee for those. But I know that we're submitting to get the date changed since we had the schedule conflict. But those are usually pretty easy. You fill out a basic form, you say the date, how many anglers you anticipate, the fisheries, the body of waters that you want. And Wisconsin will even go as far as asking you like what the estimated payout amounts are going to be and all that other stuff. So
get up in your money.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting how
all
each
up in your
state
business.
But it surprises me that Illinois doesn't go to that extreme yet, because Illinois likes to do a lot of crazy things.
Y'all can keep all that up there. I like the southern lakes are just like, meh, whatever. 5 years.
So are any of y'all limited with permits by how many people you can have at an event?
Go ahead, Susie.
Yep. So when it comes to Illinois, it does vary. So let's say I wanted to get a permit at Banner Marsh. Well, each ramp is limited to a certain amount of like boats per se. So I think Johnson Lake, I think you can do 50. I think most of them are max of 50. So if I wanted to include all of Banner Marsh, I would have to get permits for all of the ramps for 50 anglers to try to have like 150 people max if we had an event that big type of thing. But another example is like Newton Lake. So there's 2 ramps over there, and each ramp can only have 50 people max per tournament. So it can be a little tricky sometimes.
Yeah, for us, and I'm more familiar with Indiana, but I have tournament directors for each location, and I let them worry about that. So I don't know all the details, but I do see all the conversations they have, and I know that there are a couple of locations where they've had to get permits and work through that. And I know we just got the permit in for our championship, which is going to be at Patoka this year here in Indiana, and that was kind of a big deal for us. And so I don't know what all the details of getting that permit were, but I know we got it, and I think we're good for all of our series. The one thing I will say is one of the reasons that we set up the way we are with fishing the different days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, is if needed, depending on where we're at, we can limit how many guys fish per day and still have a good number of people signed up for the tournament for a whole. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So if we were limited to, you can only have 15 for your tournament. Well, that increases because our tournament's technically 5 days long. And so we can have 15 each day. So that's one of the reasons that it's an advantage to do it our way. We don't have to worry too much about the permits with that.
And do you have any problem? Yeah, up there. Michigan, do you have issues?
Oh, Michigan. No, actually, Michigan, we're very blessed. Our Michigan DNR, they are extremely easy to work with, and there are no permits required per se. What they request that we do is go to the Michigan.gov website, and you create an online account. You can go through and register all of your events on the DNR website. And when you choose your location, it shows you what ramps are available for that location with so many parking spots per ramp. So you pick your lake, you pick your date, you pick your ramp that you're going to launch from. Let's say the ramp only has 25 parking spots, but we're expecting 50 anglers to show up for that event. We can choose multiple ramps to justify that many parking spots, or it is on the tournament director to find a safe spot for those anglers to be able to park, whether that's across the street at a grocery store or wherever they can safely park, and then run your tournament. And let's say somebody's already gone on the website and created a tournament for that lake on that date. It'll throw up a little red flag. It'll let you know that, hey, West Michigan Bass has a boat tournament on this lake the same day you want to have a kayak tournament. You two go work it out. So they really stay out of our business. It's free to host and run a tournament here. You just go online, create an account. The one thing that they do require is after that event is over, usually it's before the end of the year. So I think this year it was December 21st. All of your events, you have to go back on and log some statistics for them about how many boats were there, how many anglers did you have, what was your total length, how many small, how many largemouth. That way we can help the DNR with a fish count and a size check on that body of water throughout the year. So we really work side by side with them. They've been fantastic over the years to work with. We've had no issues. Super simple to actually host a tournament here in the state.
That makes sense and seems totally reasonable,
I'm really big into like conservationists and stuff like that, and I wish there was a lot more of that, throughout the country. The free thing and being able to basically do whatever you want, but like they're actually putting in an effort to make it easy for y'all, work it out with whoever you need to work out, but then you get to turn around and actually be able to give, needed data to help better the fishery.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's killer. I really like.
Yeah, I really love that aspect as well. I'm a big conservationist myself, and I don't mind putting in that extra work after the tournaments are all said and done. I keep a running spreadsheet as the season is going along, and after every single event, I'll jump on. It takes 5 minutes to fill out that information for them and submit it. That way I don't have them all stacked up at the end of the season. But it's really cool to keep track of all those analytics about, how many bass were caught, what kind of bass, what was the biggest, what was the smallest, how many total submissions. And then as the DNR collects that data throughout the year, it really, really does help out the fisheries here in the state when they have all that data coming in from all these clubs.
I don't know if that information makes it to the Tourism Bureau, but it seems like they could share that information with them, and then it's easy to show the impact of what tournament anglers can bring to a community.
You're also definitely making someone or a division of the DNR's job way easier. They're getting free labor.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's great, man. I'd love to find out who
absolutely.
I need to talk to down here and get that implemented for us, because I nerd out on that stuff anyway.
Yeah, me too.
That's
cool. I don't mind doing that extra legwork. I'll do the labor for them as long as we don't have any hassle getting permits and having to pay to host tournaments and stuff like that.
Right.
They really have been a blessing to work with throughout the years. And sometimes they may see a tournament where I'll put, expected capacity 100 anglers. Well, they may happen to show up that day, not to go out and hassle anybody or check, anybody's gear or anything like that. They come out to see the event. Like they want to see 100 kayakers out on the water, competing on a tournament. They think it's a pretty cool thing to come witness. So they may pop out every now and then just to say hi and keep the jet skis off our ass. So it's a good trade.
We had something like that pop up during our Bass Nation event on Gunnersville. It was kind of like middle of the pandemic. you don't have to have permits or anything, but we were trying to find a weigh-in location. And because of that, you know, they were like, well, we can't say you can use the pavilion, but, you know, go stand 10 feet next to it in the trees. We won't say anything.
Right.
You know, we had, I think, probably 30 of the 40 people that fished it show up to hang out afterwards. And 5 minutes into it, the police rolled up. And I was like, oh, great. I was like, this is about to get bad. And he was like, I just walked over there to go ahead and catch him before he got into it. He's like, oh, no, I love to fish. I like kayak fishing. I just want to come watch. You know,
Right.
I want to see what it took to win. I was like, awesome.
That's funny. I had a similar experience this year. Susie, I think you mentioned you guys are going to be doing the tip canoe this year here in Indiana, and I did tip canoe this past year, and I fished that tournament, and I think they had all the permits and had DNR approved. I think we had around, I don't know, 80, 100 guys on that tournament day. And I remember floating. We found out after we started the float that there were going to be around 3,000 people floating in inner tubes along with us.
Well, that makes the whole thing interesting.
It was interesting. I came up on the launch for that, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. And I mean, I'm getting cackled by, they're all drunk. It was a mess. Well, we get to the end of our float, and I'm like in the midst of all this, and I get out at my boat ramp, and there's an officer, and it's actually a local officer standing there. And there were about 10 kayak guys getting out at the same time. And I just went up to him and I said, hey, is everything okay? Is there anything that you need from us kayak guys? You guys, oh, I ain't worried about you kayak guys at all. It's like, it's these idiots on the inner tubes that I'm worried about. And they were pretty rowdy for inner tube people. It was interesting.
Unbelievable. Awesome. So here's a couple of easy questions we're asking everybody. So what's your fish limit? Is it all 5 fish limit, or is it different?
Yeah, ours is 5. Well, we do one tournament that we've partnered up with. There's another club here in Michigan called the Michigan Big Bass Kayak League. And the format of their club is they go out and search for one big bass. So it's one bass, biggest bass of the event wins. So every April, we started the Michigan Big Bass bracket. So last year it was 64 anglers that mimicked the March Madness bracket style. There's a lot of brackets going on nowadays. So this year we've expanded to 128, doubled it essentially, bracket field, and it's just one bass. So each week you go out, it's a 6-week tournament. So week 1, you go out, you can fish anytime during that week. You're just looking for the biggest bass that you can score. If you're bigger than the head-to-head competitor, you move on to round number 2, you start over, go out, look for one big bass, and you'll do that for 6 weeks. Other than that, all of our tournaments are 5 fish totals.
Yeah. Brian, Susan?
Ours are for GRBY. We're 5 fish limit. Just this year, we're instituting a no size limit. So I think we were at minimum of 12 inches, I think, this last season. We want everyone to have a chance to post fish. So we're saying no size limit on the fish, 5 fish limit. And that's what makes us grassroots. It's like you can have a 3. We were that way for our championship this year. And I was in first place by catching the first fish of the tournament, and he was like 4.5 inches. Yeah. I got to lead our championship for about 30 seconds with that fish. But.
Hey, I would hold my head high too, man.
Yeah,
I would have got there. Would have been a grip and grin and everything.
I'm pretty sure I got a pick of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Susie, definitely 5, right?
Yeah. Yep. 5 fish.
Brian, I really like that format of changing that rule. And we experimented with one of our league divisions last year where all of the other divisions remained at 12-inch minimum. But with one particular division, we experimented and moved it down to 8 inches. Just to allow more people to post something on the scoreboard. Everybody wants to go home. You don't want to see a 0. It's cool if it says 16 inches for 2 fish. At least you're on the scoreboard. So I think that's something that we're going to look at doing too, whether we drop all the divisions down to 8 inches or we just do away with it, a minimum score, and post what you catch it, post it, go home feeling good about yourself. I
Well,
really like what you guys have done there.
Yeah, thanks. I think that's why we did it, and I'm excited to see what the whole season is like doing that. I think it'll be kind of cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
With anglers are all very proud. So
No, no, we're not.
we're also only tell the truth. But you gotta, just like you said, being able, for everybody to put something on the board. People are going home, but like, man, I was on them, just couldn't find no size. Put up their 2 8-inch fish. But I feel like it'll help more participation. If you go home and you caught 3 8s and didn't get to put anything on the scoreboard, it just feels like well, crap, I suck. You get to put something on there, you'd be like, well, I'm coming back, man. I was getting there.
Now with everybody going to catch boards, with a hog trough, this first measurement was 8 inches. So now you can go all the way down because catch boards are there. They measure the whole board.
They care about everybody's fish.
Yeah.
Yes.
Catch every inch.
I'm curious. Is everyone catch only this year? I know we are. Is everyone going catch?
We're moving to catch only next year. We had already made the decision to stick with it for one more year. I personally wished our club would have voted to go ahead and change, follow everybody else along. And they decided to give it one more year, but next year we're going to make that switch too. It's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
What about you, Susie?
Yep, catch only.
A board, carbonite, or just metal, like Hobie?
Just the metal boards.
Ooh, just metal.
Really? We're actually doing any of the catch, so you can do all.
Same.
There's 3, right? 3.
You know what? Yeah, actually, we might be doing all 3 as well. Now that I think about it, because I always forget that they have the carbonate and whatnot. I think we need to fine tune that. I know we talked about having catch only, but I don't think we went into exact details as far as if we're doing all the board types. So, but at least the metal ones. But yeah, I think maybe the carbonate ones might be.
That's my favorite board by far. I mean, the weight to me has nothing to do with it. They did the little video or whatever where they drove over it, I think, or whatnot.
Yep.
When I got mine in, the first thing I did was try and bend, I just took it and tried to just bend it over my chest. And that board is ridiculously stiff. Like, it obviously took a truck to flex it like that. Like, I don't see why even Hobie wouldn't just throw that in there too. I mean, okay, not going to bring it up. I do understand. But
we all understand.
But still, what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I am a huge fan of the catch carbonate board. Not anything to do with weight or flexibility, but from a judging standpoint. I find myself in the judges' seat in not only our club's tournament, but I remote judge for a lot of other clubs all over the place. And that new catch carbonate board with the links written across that top rail, that changed everything.
Yes.
It's so helpful zooming in, trying to, see that fin touch that line, but it's covering up a number. And then you've got to go back and do the math, fish by fish by fish. That number being up on that top rail has totally changed the way judges fish these submissions.
I agree. I agree with you, Mike, from that perspective. Where I don't agree is what you miss with that is I still got one of the old metal, a couple from a few years ago, the old metal ones where you get the clank of that on your kayak, the bruising on your knees. I would miss that if I had that newfangled thing. The possibility of dropping it in 30 feet of water. I mean.
I don't catch that many fish.
Something you were talking about with the catch board, just to hit on real quick. I feel like it makes judging a lot easier. I know they did have some stuff surface where if you hold the board off angle, it makes the center mark, and it's just an optical illusion. But, the fish will be laying on, let's say it's laying on 17 inches, but there's a glare. If you look at the top board, and you got at the right angle, it'll show like 18 and a half. And like our local club had a lot of argument about that. We're like, well, it's just too hard to judge. It'd be like, you have to put the angler responsible for something. Like, make sure your picture, like, some clubs are just, they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and you can't be like that. You know, a rule is a rule. If that picture is just, I can't tell, well, sorry, you lost that fish. You know that.
Yeah, not in a money tournament.
Exactly. And I judged quite a few tournaments this year, and when they finally came out, I haven't had a single issue reading one of those. I mean, you could spend 2 more seconds with it, or I would, you know, like if you're really on your judging, I'd, you know, give that angler a call and be like, you know, if you happen to still be holding the fish, send me another picture real quick. But we ain't got to get into that. It irks me that people had that complaint about that. I'm just, hold the angler accountable, and that problem is.
Yeah, you can find complaints about literally anything, man, and that shouldn't be one of them.
Right.
All right. So, y'all, for right now, I know 2020 was different. Hopefully, 2021 be even better. But are y'all expecting? What are y'all doing for COVID restrictions this year? Is it all going to be no way in until everybody has to get vaccinated, or?
Well, Susie said she was doing COVID testing, so you have to be tested before the weigh-in.
Wow.
No.
I'm just totally kidding.
Am I the only one in the room that's had COVID?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's not fun, guys. It's not fun. I got it right after our championship. It had nothing to do with our championship.
Brian was on board with the COVID testing idea right there.
Yeah, I actually almost with you. Now, what I like about our series is everything is pretty, because we're split up over those 5 days. I mean, it's pretty much all on your own anyway, online. No group meetings or whatever. And even when we announce who won, I mean, it's all right there on Tourney X, and we just do a little post on Facebook. So right now, the only time we get together is our championship, and that's going to be in September this year, I think. So yeah, COVID's going to be gone by then.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, send the good vibes. It'll all be back to normal. We'll all be drinking beer at the weigh-ins, having a good time.
Yeah, for sure.
Talking about how bad 2020 sucked.
For us, we had to play by the governor's rules. We had to abide by the Queen, and
damn politics.
For what we had to do, our season last year was supposed to kick off first week of April. We actually had to postpone until June, mid-June. So we lost about 3 months of fishing time because there were 0 gatherings. Even if you were outdoors, 0 gatherings. So we couldn't register a tournament on the government website that says we were going to have 30 people show up when we can have 0. So we had to wait until they actually allowed us to have, it started out with gatherings of 10. We could have 10 people in a small gathering, even if you were outdoors. So we immediately in June started holding quarantine tournaments, where it was first come, first serve. The first 10 anglers to sign up, you're in the event.
That's awesome.
And we held quarantine tournaments all over the place just to get people out fishing and get the season kicked off. And we held, 8, 9, 10, 11 or so of quarantine tournaments before they allowed us to have gatherings of 50 people. Once the 50 person cap was raised, we were able to go ahead and proceed with our events, and it was kind of the same thing, first come, first serve. If you get registered and you meet that cap, we'll run with it. Then we figured out, well, if we pick multiple locations or if we pick multiple ramps on the same body of water, we can have 50 here, 50 there, and it doesn't matter what the governor says at that point. We can do what we want.
Loopholes.
Loophole. Anything to go fishing.
I was waiting, honestly, when this all was like in the height of it all. I was waiting to see like clubs like posting in their Facebook pages like covert night tournaments where the trail series just went dark. There's like code words and guys with binoculars and looking out for the DNR. And I thought it'd been great.
We actually ran into a bunch of DNR while we were out and about, and they were all for it. They're like, yeah, go. We didn't see anything. Go for it. And, you're outdoors in a kayak by yourself. Go fish. Go have fun. They didn't care.
No, they're outdoor enthusiasts too.
I forgot that we did have one series in Illinois, and they got started late because they had similar things going on in Illinois. I think for a while they said no fishing at any of the lakes, if I remember right. Maybe
it was a dark
Yeah.
2.5 months.
Yeah.
They closed
Staring at your
every
fishing gear.
DNR body of water until May. Something like the first part of May, they opened like, I don't know. I swear somebody just took like a map of Illinois and threw darts at it and said, yeah, we'll open that one. Then we'll open that one. Then we'll open that one. And it was just like, what are you doing?
It sounds like politics though.
Yeah. But the 29th, then everything finally opened back up. And I took the day off of work and went to Banner. I was like, see ya.
David Brook runs our Illinois series this year, and you can just tell he wanted to get out there so bad.
Oh my God, I know. It was brutal because he came down and fished at Imaquan with me because that was still open because it's not DNR regulated. So yeah, he came down a couple of days for that because he saw how good I was doing out there because I was on furlough. I was on furlough that week, and I was just like, I don't know where else to go. I'm just going to go to Imaquan, you know? I mean, I was like, the fishing has kind of deteriorated down there since they drained it to fix the levee, but I hit it just right, like either right after, right before the spawn. And I mean, they were just hammering everything. And
I remember those pictures.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure.
Oh, it was so
We
awesome.
we had, before we even kicked off our season, once we knew that it was going to be postponed, and this was back right when COVID really struck it, back in end of March, 1st of April, when they were shutting everything down and nobody in the country really knew what was going on. We had already made plans for one of our bigger sponsors who's coming from North Carolina to our kickoff, big event for MKT. Well, he didn't want to change his travel plans, and he couldn't really fit a different time to make it up to Michigan. So we actually held a speakeasy tournament where we didn't put anything online. It was like invitation only to like 15 or 16 people. Like,
covert.
be at this lake at this time. I can't tell you why. and so we did. We just
It's a secret. Nobody talks about Fight Club.
Just like the Facebook
speakeasy
page,
tournament.
there's just like a random letter on one day that means like,
yeah,
like you got to go to your codex.
you got to have your decoder. Yeah, right. That was fun. I hope for everybody here and everybody watching that 2020 is a big turn for everybody, and
21.
I hope everybody gets back out, things open back up, people can go say hi to friends and be in the same room with each other. And
Oh my God, yes.
gosh, I'm looking forward to that for everybody so much.
That's what, people may frown upon it. I was working in Tennessee today. I'm from Alabama. Just for anybody that didn't know it, North Alabama, I was doing some work in Tennessee today. And when you cross the state line, you reach the state that really does not care. And as much as it's wrong or whatever your beliefs are, God, I enjoyed it.
Oh, I bet.
It's like, hello,
I
my
bet.
people. Like,
Felt kind of free, huh?
oh, it was great.
That's
There's
awesome.
no signs anywhere. Yeah, I'm like pulling my mask out of my pocket, and my buddy, the guy I'm working with, Rhett, was like, "No, bro, we're in Tennessee. We don't do that here." I was like,
We don't do that here.
It was
We
so
don't
nice.
do that. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
All right. So I got a question, and I'm going to stir the pot a little bit here.
Uh-oh.
And so don't talk bad about each other's clubs. Let's not start a fight here. But
I
is
mean,
there
I'm all for it.
I think we all like each
I
other.
mean,
I think that's the problem. We get along.
I'm not
Right?
saying don't. I'm just saying, do it at your own discretion. Is there
Let's see what you ask first.
Yeah.
is there something that you see other clubs doing that you wouldn't do with your club, or you think is wrong? Like what's some example?
You are stirring the
I'm
pot.
fixing to say,
right?
this is a pretty salty question, and I
Trying to get some
Wow.
headlines here.
What is an example of something that you've seen another trail do that you disagree with?
I'm
Oh,
excited.
geez.
Goodness.
I guess off the top of my head, no one here in particular, or their club, but membership fees. We don't charge membership fees. I don't want to charge membership fees. Anglers already pay enough money for their gear and travel and time off of work and registration fees. The last thing I want to do is charge you a membership fee just to come hang out with us and fish.
I'm offended.
To me, that's silly.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
It's not my rule. My hands are tied by Bassmaster. So I definitely agree with you, but there's a way bigger power at play there. So I just have to. Okay. I'm still looking for that headlining sponsor. That the first thing I'm going to ask is be like, none of my anglers are paying their entry or their dues. That's on y'all. So
for sure.
That would be really cool for a sponsor to do that. Man, they would get some business too.
Yeah.
For GRBY, I think it's the same. We don't charge any dues or membership fees or anything because again, we're about the grassroots. So I can't think of. I think the only thing right now would be that there any groups that's not catch only. I would kind of ask why. Because I think you're asking for trouble if you're not catch only at this point. And I think there maybe are one or two groups out there that are either hanging on or waiting another year. I think you guys said, Mike, you guys are waiting one more year. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that was us. We ran a Topwater live broadcast a few weeks ago, and we let the viewers vote. Which
I get that.
Probably wasn't such a good idea, but because I already had my mind made up that we were going catch only. I had already planned it that's what we were doing, and the masses voted, and on that particular night they won. So we went with what the people voted for. One more year. So
that's all the people that already had the hog trough and didn't.
That's everybody that's already went out and purchased a hog trough and for a fish stick.
Gotta look for catch to be a sponsor. Help you swing in the other direction.
And they are. We get an amazing discount.
That's just a kick in the face.
And we do team bulk orders that save a tremendous amount of money on catch boards. So for us, it was a no-brainer to go to catch only. So I was a little surprised at the vote.
Allow me to stir the pot a little bit more. I did think of one more thing that. This is me.
I got my list going too.
Okay, good. This is me personally. I think I'm the oldest guy in the room, so this is for the old people out there. But any groups that don't allow trolling motors, I'm like, come on. Think about the old people. We need our trolling motors.
I used to walk uphill both directions to school.
Yeah, right.
In the snow.
I used to paddle up and down the river.
No, I get that. I'm the same with you. If you got a motor, bring it. There's only one event, and it's not our event. That we drive our anglers to this particular event because it's a charity event called the NOMO here in Michigan that Chris has been doing for a number of years, and that's the only event that we do without motors.
Seems like everybody in the Midwest allows motors, right? That like that's generally accepted up there.
I think so. I can't think of any clubs.
For the most part, there's been a couple local clubs that just are allowing it this year, but they're for the most part, I think we're all going to be allowing trolling motors.
Most clubs are going that way. For anybody that missed the episode last week, we had the southeastern region on. A lot of those guys still like the man-powered only, but we also those states that are a lot of the grassroots clubs. That way, you do have other clubs. So, like your major clubs are man-powered only, but there are clubs that do allow you to join with the motor and enjoy yourself that way. So I definitely think it'll change it'll be a standard before you know it.
Yeah, like Jimmy BASS in Alabama is the first trail in Alabama to ever allow motors.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And that now obviously we'd let there's exceptions. If you're like, hey, I blew my shoulder out, just send me a picture of an X-ray, doctor, whatever. But yeah, and I think that was a big thing for us because Alabama's been kind of behind very, very late to, it took COVID for those guys to get on Tourney X, and then they're all like, oh yeah, we're never going away from Tourney X, and I'm just over here like, hey, Tried to sell that to you, but you're welcome.
Susie? All right, what's on your list?
I've been waiting for Susie's answer.
Blow some people up.
I hope she doesn't throw questions back towards me and you, because I might just like turn mine off.
I got to leave.
So one thing that really gets me, and I know that this debate could probably go on forever because it's, a matter of opinion, but like when clubs really get nitty gritty with like certain rules, when it comes to, let's say, trolling. I know there's like big debates between different clubs on whether or not they'll allow trolling or whatnot, because a lot of clubs will follow the KBF standard rules. And so then they'll, mirror those, but then they'll kind of fine tune some different ones, which, I get to a certain extent, but I wish the rules were just same all across the board for everything, no matter what. That would kind of be like my biggest thing, because it's like, okay, what club doesn't allow this and what club does allow that, and, other things like that. So that's kind of like little bitty things. But another thing, and this might be treading some delicate waters a little bit, but things that I've seen before is unfair, like judging in a sense.
Bias judging, is that what you're talking about?
Huh?
Like kind of bias? Is that what you mean?
Bias judging, and when there's like clear this happened not last year, but the year before. An angler placed really high up and part of the identifier was cut off, but the fish mission was allowed.
I'm looking down to you two guys to see in which one of you react.
It wasn't any of those two. I can tell you that right
Wasn't
now.
me.
I don't
Wasn't
think
me.
that was us, but
That shouldn't be allowed.
No,
I'm a stickler for that. So
it was a bigger event. That's all I'll say without, treading too dangerous of waters. But
hey, just light it on fire. Let's do this.
Oh, I think I actually remember this situation. So I think I know who she's talking about.
Yeah. So it just,
we're all friends here. Let's share. Come on.
Hey,
I ain't doing it.
I enjoy a good dumpster fire every now and then.
But like my biggest beef is just, I can understand certain rules that might have to be sort of like leewayed a little bit for certain circumstances that they may not have thought of when those rules were written. I can understand that, but when you're gonna flex a rule just because you're trying to play favorites or make good graces with potential sponsors or something like that, or because of who they are or whatever reason, then I got a big problem with that, because it's just
I really need to know the rest of the story.
me too.
We'll talk.
Stay on after if you're not going to spill it. I need to know.
Right.
On the next episode.
Right.
Part 2.
Just make sure they stop recording, Susie.
Right. Yeah, just be like,
When she first started out, I totally thought she was going to say Crossroads Classic. My screen about went dark.
Man, I tell you what, though, like all of those experiences, whether it be Crossroads or, other crazy things that I've had, those have all just, had powerful impacts, with kayak fishing for me in general, and I've also just come to realize that I'm like, I may have experienced and seen some of these things because I am behind the scenes, but that's what kind of drives me for the trail series, is that I want to, show anglers what a really good series can do and what, like fair judging means, and, just good things. It's just like, how many other tournaments, or I guess like trail series, I should say, are run by ladies? I know that there are more clubs that are being run by women. Yeah. But first trail series. Yeah.
Queen. Queen.
So I
didn't even think about that.
Susie, make sure we celebrate that when you're on my show here in a couple of weeks. I'm going to toot your horn on that one. That's awesome.
Right. That's right.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, it's just a big
come
drive
on your show with a crown.
I know. I don't even own like a crown. Yeah, I don't need like a crown or anything like that. I'll just have my fishing pole as like my saber or whatever it's called.
You're gonna have your fishing pole as your staff, a cast net for a road.
My staff.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Oh, shall hail me.
Absolutely.
All right. So now, let's on the positive side of that question is, what's something that if you had to give some advice to a tournament director, maybe they're just starting out, new club or a trail that's been around, what's a piece of advice that you would give them of something that you've learned? Maybe it was because you made a mistake and you had to learn the hard way. What's a good piece of advice that you would pass along? We'll start with you on this one, Susie.
Make sure you know your rules frontwards and backwards.
Susie loves rules.
It's so sad that you have to say that, though.
Yeah.
And it's not, I'm not pointing out at y'all. It's true.
Yeah.
There's so many times that the rules are in black and white and the people running it don't. Like, I've gotten texts during the tournament from the tournament director. Hey, man, what's the rule on this? First off, this is your club. I shouldn't have to tell you. But your picture's wrong. You violated all these rules. But no, go ahead. I'm sorry. That struck a nerve.
Okay. That's okay.
That blew me up that day. I was sitting on my computer like, what?
Like, wait, what?
I mean, that's a great piece of advice. If the tournament director doesn't know the rule, how can you expect anybody to follow?
Right.
That's simple, but
And then other big pieces of advice that I would say too is, when in doubt, reach out to the angler. Don't waste time trying to come to conclusions of, oh, they did this on purpose, or, oh, they should have known better. We don't know what's going on their side. So if they send in a blurry picture, or if something's just not adding up right on their GPS, or whatever reason it may be, call the angler. It'll solve a lot of problems real quickly.
Amen.
Say, hey, this is going on. Can you tell me what's going on? Or like, what's up with that? And usually it's like a really quick and easy thing. And you're like, oh man, I was so dumb to, jump to conclusions or think that they were trying to cheat or gain an advantage when it was just a simple either misunderstanding or miscommunication.
Technology was created by man and it screws up all the time.
Right? Exactly. So give the angler the benefit of the doubt. And if you still don't know, call them or text them. Hopefully you have good signal too. But most of the time, anglers are like, oh, yeah, sure. I'll shoot you a picture of where I'm at right now, or, oh, yeah, hey, yeah, I totally saw that person over there. And yeah, they did this or, whatever it may be. So, don't be afraid to reach out and talk to people.
There you go. Brian, how about you?
First, I 100% agree with everything Susie just said. We have experienced all of that and have done all that in our group, and that's what I love about GRBY. I would say mine, and I think Jim might say this as well, is if you're going to start a group where you're going to do a trail and you're going to be the tournament director, do yourself a favor and don't do it alone. Bring on as many people as you can, but make sure you trust them. We have a core group of people right now that are our tournament directors. And if it wasn't for that core group, GRBY would not be the size and impacting the kind of people that we're impacting today. We got a core group of people that just do an incredible job of communicating with each other, talking to each other. Susie, you mentioned the rules and following the rules. I love that our core group, we don't just make one decision. It's like, okay, there's a problem we didn't think about that just came up. What do we do about this, guys? We get a majority decision, and that's the decision. We stick with it. And Jim's kind of our leader, but he listens to everybody in that core group. So get a core group of people, no matter how small or big your trail is, and count on them to do a lot of the work for you. Don't do it.
I think probably a big part of that is to make sure you have a club has longevity over time, and because people have family things come up or whatever it is, and you can't do this forever. You're going to get burnt out, or you have family, just life things comes up. To have a group rather than one person, the club lasts longer too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Mike, how about you, man?
Yeah, honestly, Susie and Brian hit two really good points. Don't jump to conclusions. Surround yourself with a good core group of people. Our Michigan Kayak Trail and our Topwater Series, we have a fantastic group of tournament directors. I think all in all that there's about 12 of us now that are directors doing different things. But as the tournament directors, one piece of advice I would give, and something we can all work on, is be approachable. Don't be standoffish, be approachable. Our whole goal is to get the unexperienced and the new inquisitive anglers out on the water, to give them an avenue to experience kayak tournament fishing. Let them ask questions. Let them get to know the rules, get to know the series, the camaraderie with the other anglers at the ramp, help facilitate all of that. That's going to grow your base. And that's what's going to continue to have, a successful trail series or a league series, whatever it may be. Just be approachable as a director. Don't be standoffish. We're all volunteers in this. None of us are getting paid to be there. So enjoy it. If you're going to step up and you're going to do it, enjoy it. Be that guy that people aren't afraid to come and ask those questions to, so that they go out and have a great experience at your event.
There you go. Great advice.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of piggyback a little bit to kind of what Mike and Brian said too. Having the core group of people that you're working with is super vital to having a tournament, series, club, whatever, run smoothly. Communication between your staff is important, and that trust that you have between them too. So making sure that everybody's on the same page. There's things that some people might be kind of like, not really fond of that, but I'll deal with it because it's consensus or whatever. But having everybody have your back and being able to have other people's back as well is very important. And then one other thing I also wanted to add in there too is always plan for the worst case scenario, because you never know what's going to happen sometimes. And I think I've had my fair share of almost everything. A guy getting run over by a boat, a death.
One of our guys. Thank you very much.
It's been interesting. Weather, death of an angler, accusation.
Ran over by a boat.
Yeah, at the Crossroads event.
Is his nickname Manatee?
I had him on my show because it's such a unique story. But he's one of our GRBY guys at the Crossroads team. The year I was there, he got.
I guess I missed that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it.
Yeah, Brock Howell is his name.
Yep, good guy.
I know that. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, it was a really interesting situation, and I remember I was sitting at the picnic table, and he had started walking up, and he's just like,
marks across his head, or
no, he didn't have any marks or anything. He was walking fine. He's just like, so I got hit by a boat, and I like kind of fumbled for a second. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? You got what? He's like, I got ran over by a boat. I'm like, oh shit. Okay, like what? Okay, what do we need to do? I was like, all right, are you okay? Is your boat okay? And then I had him kind of tell me my story and everything. I was like, okay, well, I got to call DNR and get an officer out here because the people that ran him over are still out there. So who knows what was going on with that? So you never know what's gonna come your way.
It's one of those things.
Ever since then, he's been the luckiest man on the planet. He has won so many contests and free gear and all kinds of stuff. I'm kind of sick of his name, to be honest. I'm constantly hearing about Brock won another contest. I'm like, come on.
Well,
it was just a little boat that ran him over.
But it was
here's
really
the key to
awesome.
Success is you got to get hit by a boat in your.
It was really awesome, though, to see what everybody did like that afternoon and evening to come together to make things happen so that he could go fishing the next day. Because he lost his phone when he had flipped over, too. So did he have all 5 fish that first day?
Yeah, we would have placed a lot higher were it not for that, by the way. I just want to say our team would have done that for that year. He lost his phone. He had 5 fish, and he lost all of that and didn't get to count his 5 fish. It was horrible.
So he says.
But we got him in another kayak the next day. We got him hooked up with, rod reel combos and everything. And people were throwing money in a box, like to donate to them and everything. I never ended up counting how much was there, but I mean there was a good amount in there, and I was like, this is because of the anglers. Like, look at how awesome this is.
He was gonna go home.
He was so ready to go home. He's like, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna leave. And we were like, no, dude, come on. We got everything here for you. We want you to stay. You got a chance. You could get big bass. I mean, come on. And luckily enough, he stayed.
Here's the sad part about that story. That the fact that he got hit by a boat isn't the sad part. The sad part is I was on his team and did not get hit by a boat, and yet he did better in the tournament than I did. That's
just the icing on the cake.
That's rough, man.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, it's been over an hour. We don't want to hold y'all up too long. We appreciate y'all being on, but we always want to give everybody a chance to shout out anybody that makes fishing easier, I guess, for yourself and for your trail. Mike, we'll start with you, man.
A shout out. Say that again. That makes fishing
anybody that makes fishing easier for you, bud. Or your trail.
Gosh, man. Our tournament trail directors, starting with Tom Mullins and my partner Kyle Van Leuven, and the list goes on with Grant Bennett, Coda Hart, David Kerr, Chris Cantwell, Mike Kitchkowski, Brett Bramer, Dave Mall. If I'm missing anybody, I apologize, but we wouldn't be able to run these trail series without awesome tournament directors. All of the anglers that participate on probably all of our social media pages. Thank you to you guys for paying attention, staying tuned, and coming out and giving us your time. So can't wait to get 2021 kicked off here in a couple months. And as soon as the ice is gone, we'll be out there.
There you go. All right, Brian, how about you, man?
I would fail if I tried to run down all of our tournament directors, but I will mention Jim Strunk and Cole Ritter, and they're not only two good guys that are really the driving force behind GRBY right now. That they're doing all the behind the scenes stuff and coordinating the other tournament directors. They do a great job. They're also two really good close friends of mine that I appreciate so much, and have made me being a part of the kayak fishing community just a blast. So Cole Ritter and Jim Strunk.
Cool. Susie?
Obviously, Paddle and Fin, of course. But main people part of the trail, Brian Schiller, Titus Dominguez, Jason Young, Jay Randall, Matt Gibson. Got a couple other people kind of chipping in with that as well. Sponsor wise, I know, of course, Jig Masters, Eastport Marina out of Dale Hollow is making sure we're getting taken care of for the Open and Clash of Clubs.
Susie, are you going to be down there? Are you coming?
Yeah.
We got to experience, their hospitality at the Paddle and Fin meetup. You're going to love that place. It is so nice. Like, the fishing was crap, and it was still, I would not have traded that weekend for anything.
The beer was cold.
Yeah.
Exactly. And close by.
I'm excited.
I am stoked as well. I'm probably going to take a good chunk of time off because I haven't really taken any time off for quite a while, and I haven't really done like a vacation or anything in a sense. So I'm thinking about having that as like my first like sort of mini vacation so that I can at least fish it, before I start running it for the events and everything. So
it's such a beautiful area too.
Right.
Like, Dale Hollow is beautiful.
Yeah, I've never been either. So I'm really excited.
It'll be cool to see the lake when it's 12 feet higher than it was when we were there.
Oh yeah,
we saw what the bottom of the lake looks like. I'd like to know what the rest of it looks like when it's underwater.
Right.
Know where the fish actually are.
Yeah, kind of similar to like Kentucky Lake, how they do like the winter and summer pools.
Way worse.
Really?
Oh wow. Like the cover you would normally fish in 8-10 feet of water was 10 feet up on the bank. Like,
oh, jeez.
You were still like, you'd still mark deep structure and find every now and then you'd find a few, brush piles that were just, like 3 twigs. But it was more of a scouting mission. You were like, okay, in the spawn, this is the place to be. And like, even the Richard, the guy that runs eSport, was like, no, he's like, if y'all come back, March, April, he's like, we're in the perfect spot to make, catch some giant spawning smallmouth. So I can't
That's
wait.
exciting.
That is what I am so looking forward to. Like, I fell in love with smallies a couple years ago when I got my personal best on Lake St. Clair, and just I love fishing for smallies.
I'm hoping to make that tournament this year. I want to come up there so bad.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
For me,
I got a place for you to stay.
I will definitely
Wow.
hold you to that.
GRBY is doing. We're doing a tournament this year, once a month on St. Clair. So I'm excited. I'm going to go be a part of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
I think it's funny how we're all so intertwined with each
Yeah.
other, because we've worked, our combined events like Crossroads and stuff like that. That's a no-brainer. But we're actually working with Paddle and Fin on the Coldwater chain of lakes. And then I'm a big GRBY fan myself. One, because I grew up down in southern Indiana, and there wasn't any bass or kayak fishing on Lake Sullivan when I lived, 10 minutes from the lake.
Yeah.
But now you guys have an event coming up to Lake St. Clair once a month, which is awesome. And the tournament director for that GRBY event is also one of my tournament directors for our Indiana kayak trail, Cole Garland.
Mr. Garland. Yep.
So I think it's funny how we're all intertwined. And, for the Dale Hollow event, I'm so jacked about that. I've never fished down south like that. I've never been down there, and experienced that. So I'm so excited to get down there. It's going to be so much fun.
It's a beautiful lake, man. It's the houseboat, like Lake of the World or something like that. So like the way their rules work with, like, you can park your houseboat and you like this much of the property is basically like yours while you're docked. It's just cool.
You guys are making
cool,
me think I need to go down there for
Come
that
on, man.
tournament. All right. I'm thinking I'm going to.
Yeah.
That's going to be amazing. Just even if you're not participating in 50 different clubs from all over the country coming to fish, that's going to be amazing. So
yeah,
that's super cool.
Heck yeah. I mean, they're going to have, live music and beer and food and everything there. So
I will go ahead and give their restaurant a plug. Dear God, all of their food is great. They cooked breakfast for us one morning, like super early. It was great. I love those ladies.
It sounds silly, but any place that has tater tots, I'm up for it.
Yeah.
I don't like French fries. Like the tater tot is the king of all potato tots. Like,
Wow.
if you have a tater tot, you're okay on my. That's weird, but it is.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, we appreciate y'all for being on the show, and good luck this year, and be safe, and just keep up the good work.
You too, guys.
All right. Good luck, everybody.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, there we go. Well, if you can believe it, we actually had there was actually some tournaments this weekend. And the show's going to come out next week, so we'll be like a week late on that. But yeah, there was 3 trails. First, you had the Kayak Anglers of Florida on Kenansville, which is obviously one of the best lakes in the country. 46 anglers. Dean Law won with 94 1/4. Chris Mitchell in second with 91 3/4, and Robert Brisky with 90 1/2. Next up, San Antonio Kayak Fishing. They were on Fayette County. I guess that's a lake. I couldn't find it, but it said Fayette County. Maybe it's a whole county. Who knows? It's San Antonio. It's crazy down there. But had 63 anglers, 3 fish limit. Michael Morgan won with 60 3/4. He had a 20 bag.
Wow.
All right. Yeah, triple 20. Andrew Jacobson, and none of the fish were big, but there weren't like any giants. Andrew Jacobson got second with 60 inches, and Derek Taylor with 59 1/2, and all the they were all like 59, 19 1/2 or 20, or it wasn't like 23 and a 17. Yeah, so
It's good fish all around.
Yeah, exactly. Really good, strong fishery wherever they were at. Whatever Fayette County is, that's where it's at, because them fish are nice. And last but not least, Tennessee Bass Nation on Cherokee Lake, 33 anglers. Bruh, the fishing was tough. With 33 people, only 11 people caught 2 or more fish. There were 13 zeros, and there's some legit anglers fishing that too. This wasn't like a Tuesday nighter. This was like real fishermen. And Jason Sharp won with 86 inches. Brian Smith second with 78.5, and Jay Wallen pulling
Jay.
up the rear. Yeah, third place with 71 3/4. Congratulations to everybody who did well. But yeah, another great show. Really appreciate everybody being on. Next week, so we had the South. This week we had Midwest, and next week we're going to go up to talk to the Northwest. I think that'd be interesting. Talk some TDs up there and see what's going on. But yeah, good show. But everybody be safe. You know, it's dangerous. Bring a splash bag, extra clothes, and as always, wear your PFDs. Thanks, everybody.
Good night. Thanks for tuning in this week, everybody. The Reel Down was brought to you by the Dugout Bait and Tackle in Marietta, Georgia. They have everything you need for your next fishing adventure, from rods, reel, line, and tackle, all the way up to Hobie fishing kayaks. They carry all your favorite brands like G. Loomis, St. Croix, Shimano, and many, many more, as well as all of our best bait company. Give them a like and follow, and head on over to the Dugout Bait and Tackle today, and be sure and tell them that Paddle and Fin sent you.
Thanks for tuning in to another killer episode on Paddle and Fin. Don't forget to go check out our website at paddle_and_fin.com. Don't forget to check out the YouTube channel at Paddle and Fin. If you got a question, comment, want to hear from a future guest on a future episode, feel free to email us at paddle_and_fin@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Paddle and Fin on Facebook and Instagram. Shout out to our show supporters, Angler. The Angler button and app just makes for a better time on the water and creates a virtual logbook for every fishing outing out on the water. Shout out to Rocktown Adventures, located in Northern Illinois, for all your kayaking, camping, and hiking needs. Shout out to Jig Masters Jigs. When in doubt, get the jig out. Go to jigmasters.com